Welcome back to the channel where we explore all kinds of creative uses of AI. Today we're going to follow up on a video that I did the other day about using Krea.ai and a Webcam plugin to affect the real-time generation of AI art using your webcam and the signals that you send through it. And I mentioned at the end of that video that I was inspired to do that video by a service called Craya.ai that provides real-time generation of images in a lot of different ways, and I want to share it with you right now. So when you get to the Craya website, to get to the real-time generation, I wonder where you'd click. My guess is you're going to click where it says real-time generation. For whatever reason, it defaults to the image-to-image section of this. We're going to get back to this, but we're going to start with the text-to-image. In this case, we're not influencing anything with the webcam. We'll get to that. But right now, I just want to show you the real-time generation. This is much like what we've done on many other videos where I've used turbo models to type and change the image in real time as you watch. But this has a particularly cool enhance feature, which I want to show you. So let's play with some of this. An alien creature. Now we'll just start right there. Now we have the same options, of course, with a random seed where I can change the overall look of the image by clicking the random seed and scrolling through options that way. But we also have styles over here. Right now it's selected on no style, but we also have cinematic, and we click that and it changes it a little bit. We have illustration, bloom, seems to have a flower influence in some way. And then product, which I assume is great for product shots and stuff like that. And honestly, I haven't tried that very much. Let's go back to the cinematic style, which I think is a good overall style. And let's embellish this a little bit. With horns in a cave with a view of the city. Okay, I don't see a city. How about let's a view of New York City. I think this model is just a little bit too fantastical. Let's click illustration, see what we get. No, still not New York City. Bloom. No, definitely not New York City. And no style. Still not New York City. Let's try changing the seed, because sometimes that makes it. Look at that. See, sometimes the seed is the magic. Now look at that. Now let's say we like this image. Let's say it's okay, but if we look at it, we go back, come on, it's not very clear. If we were to zoom on this image, we'd see all kinds of yucky details. But no matter what real-time generation technique you use, you have the enhance feature, which is pure magic in my mind. So let's say we like this image, it's got a good look, but the details aren't great. We just click on this button right here, click enhance, and watch what happens. A couple of passes later, and now we've got all new detail. Let's do another one where we can really show this off. How about a furry cat? So that's a pretty good image. Let's enhance it. You see how we got much more detail on the whiskers and things like that. So let's keep playing with this, and every now and then we'll enhance an image to show what we've got. Granny, we need a more 3D, 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 3D. See, that kind of is a cheat. Okay, so let's say we've got this. Let's enhance that. That's better. So let's go to the image to image version of this, where we click this tab here, and now you'll see that these shapes are influencing the image in real time. It's still going by the prompt. Before we go any further, and so I don't get a string of comments, let me just acknowledge my terrible placement of my own video overlay over what I was working on. And so most of the prompts I'm typing, you don't see the result of because my picture's on there. So lesson learned. I'll be much more mindful later. Thank you for your patience. Let's change this to a young child holding a balloon. Okay, so obviously we've got the hat, I guess, is informed. If we make this smaller, let's see what happens. We lose it there. Make this a little bit bigger. Let's get rid of this completely, and now we can use the paintbrush, and let's just draw a person. Now there's that person holding a balloon, and how about if we put them on the grass by painting some? Actually, let's get a sky going first. We'll get the brush real big, and we'll just paint this. Now, each of the things that you paint on here is a movable object, and you can also change the layers. Obviously, I painted this guy on top of the balloon, so we want to bring it down to the back. So now we've got the balloon and now the influence of the sky. And look at that, the green grass. Now we've got a nice hill. Let's just enhance this for fun. More details everywhere. Remember that the prompt is also going to inform this. So let's just see what happens if I just paint some dark brown mountains in the background, but don't tell it it's mountains. Okay, it doesn't know that that's mountains. And in fact, let's put some snow on this mountain. Okay, it doesn't know that it's snow, but let's tell it it is. A young child holding a balloon in a field in front of a mountain covered with snow. That's actually turning into more of a cloud. What happens if I do this? There we go. Now there's a snow-covered mountain for you. You can also bring in images to overlay on top of this to influence this, but remember, it's not looking so much at what is in the image, but just the colors and the shades of the image. So if I bring in an image like this, it uses the colors and the shading to impact the overall composition of the image, not what is in the image. That's more guided by the prompt. So this mushroom cloud is not turning into a mushroom cloud, it's turning into the child. Let's see if we can make this smaller. And let's do several balloons, different colors, right? Yellow. See, look at that. Nice. We're actually going to look at the screen to image and the camera to image at the same time, because right now, because of all the cameras I have on my system, the browser is a little confused as to what camera to use for this. And so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the other feature is the screen to image, which allows you to take any screen on your desktop and use that as the source image to determine the composition, just like we've been doing. So in this case, I can combine them both by sending my webcam output to a screen and then sharing that screen. Okay, so right now you're looking at man in an office and my webcam is feeding this signal. We've got no style selected up here and we're just doing man in an office, and you'll notice that my background is informing what's going on back here. We've got all these square things because we've got a screen. So if I was to turn off my background, let's see what happens. Okay, so now his background is darker. In fact, if I was to take out in an office and just have man, then now we just really truly have a man. No background whatsoever. Now, so let's say man in the forest. So now a forest has appeared with flowers and birds. So we can continue to do that. A webcam still influencing the majority of it. Let's do something else like dentist in his office. Okay, so we've got the dentist, the office not so much, it's kind of back there, but what if I was to change my background to look more like, oh, I don't know, an office, and see what happens. So now that we've added an actual office or something that could be interpreted as one, now we've got more office type elements. I'm just moving around the screen grab of my webcam, of my live webcam feed. And you can see how it is affecting the composition of the picture. How about if I change this to her? What would happen? There we go, that's exactly what should happen. How about if we make this a steampunk dentist in her office? And let's go ahead and put the cinematic style on here because that was with no style. So now we've got this going on. And how about working on a patient? Now this should be interesting because there's just me in here. What's it going to try and make a patient? So it's not. So let's see if we can make a patient, which is my right hand. Let's change to no style. Working on a patient in her chair. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting some patience in the chair. Just with my hand defining where they are. Yeah, they're weird and disturbing. Before we wrap this up, I want to show you one more enhanced feature that they have here. To do this, we're just going to go back to the simple text to image generation. Okay, so here I've just generated an image called Scary Clown Dressed for Dinner in an Old Scary Mansion, and I've got it in the cinematic style. Now I could just go ahead and click Quick Enhance, and we'll do that real quick. And so it definitely makes a difference. It's cleaned things up nicely. But instead, let's generate this again. I like this one. I'm going to now click this button, Send to Enhance and Upscale. Now it moves over here. Not only does it move the image over here, but it also moves the prompt, because you have the ability through a prompt to enhance this or change it even more. I'm just going to leave it exactly how it is. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to leave the prompt how it is, but I'm going to lower the upscaling factor just for time. This is still going to give a very impressive result. And for the AI strength, we'll just leave it at the default for now and click on Enhance. You'll notice there's a checking position. You should be aware that there are definitely wait times with Crea.ai. They probably get faster if you get into their pricing plan, but they give you a lot to do for free, and the price you pay is a little patience. For example, you'll see we've got 54 ahead of us with this particular process. Are you ready to be blown away? So here's the original image. I'm going to sweep this over and look what this has done. Wow. That is freaking impressive. Freaking impressive. I didn't change the prompt or anything, but just to get an upscale of this, that looks fantastic. Now, AI has influenced it. There are details that are a little bit different. You can see like the eyes are just a little bit different, but it really brought things into focus and I thought did an outstanding job. Just show you a couple of others. Before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. So overall, it's an impressive suite of tools, especially if you're into that real-time generation stuff, or you want to enhance and upscale images in a really cool way. Craya also has a couple of other tools and an infinite canvas where you can create all this stuff, but I just really wanted to show you what you could do with the real-time generation in this. But I'll do a deeper dive of all the other features in Craya and how you can use them if it's something you want. You'll need to let me know in the comments below. So are these real-time generation tools of any interest to you? Do you see a practical use for them, or are they just something that's kind of fun to play with right now? For me, I think it's kind of something fun to play with right now. There's some issues with it, but as far as exploring ideas creatively, I love it. Do you? Let me know.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I